The V8 Speed Resto crew has prepped this 1979 Trans Am for a huge horsepower upgrade. And with the LS3 sitting in place and all of the accessories attached, all that's left to figure out is how this big engine is going to breathe.
We had talked amongst the crew about making the shaker hood scoop that came with this car originally a functional piece with this new LS engine.
A typical LS swap entails using an aftermarket tubular style intake with a cone filter. But because this Trans Am came factory equipped with the iconic shaker scoop, the owners of this Trans Am thought it would be a waste not to retain its functionality. One way to accomplish this is to fit a carburetor-style intake manifold with a throttle body in place of the carburetor, and then fit the shaker scoop on top of that. The owners of this Trans Am did not want to go this route, however, deciding on keeping the standard LS intake intact. The Trans Am shaker scoop opening faces the windshield, while the throttle body on the LS3 intake is mounted on the front of the intake manifold. This presented a challenge to get the air filtered and redirected to the front of the engine while maintaining proper flow characteristics. Another advantage to making the shaker functional is to let the engine breathe the cool, still air from the base of the windshield for more power. The solution was to fabricate an all-aluminum airbox/engine cover that not only contained the air filter, but also properly sized air passages that allowed the LS3 to breathe freely. The front of the airbox was designed in such a way as to pay homage to the distinctive front-end styling that the later second-gen Firebirds possessed. It's this design of the airbox that gave the necessary room for the air passages that allowed the LS3 to breathe. The air filter placement was critical for optimum performance. Its near horizontal angle allowed for its entire surface to filter the incoming air, as the underhood space was at a premium. A K&N filter element allows for low restriction airflow. Because the owners of this Trans Am planned to drive it frequently, considerations had to be made to accommodate varying weather conditions such as rain as well as normal washing of the car. The fabricated airbox has been designed to allow the continued use of the factory drain that is found in the shaker scoop. The airbox itself was designed to deal with water intrusion through the scoop opening. There are openings in the top of the airbox that allow excess water to be shed and directed to the bottom and rear of the airbox before it gets a chance to enter through the filter. The top of the airbox was made wide enough to accommodate the width of the shaker scoop base. This treatment presented some negative space under the shaker airbox combo. This allowed us to create side closeout panels on the airbox. This also gave a finished, cohesive look to the entire unit without impeding with normal underhood maintenance items such as checking and changing the oil. With the air intake fabbed up and functioning, the crew starts the engine in preparation of some test miles and tuning.
So we've got the 79 Firebird with the LS3 swap running. It's got about 8 miles on it right now. We have a pretty good base tune for this engine. It's an LS3 480, which we've used in a couple other cars. But as with any car, our special air intake, different exhausts, and this one's an automatic, which is the first time we've done that behind this engine with a Holley operating system. So there's a few things to work out of it, but it runs and drives pretty well for a base calibration.
After we verified the function of our air intake system, it went through the body and paint shop where Jeff laid down a neat mix of both satin black and gloss to kind of make it look like Pontiac designed it. So once the team got some miles on the car, the motivation for doing this job really became apparent because the car just performs really, really well. The LS3 makes tons and tons of power. The shifting is nice and firm with the automatic overdrive. The reliability is there. You turn the key, it starts, it does what it's supposed to do. And that Ride-Tech suspension really feels good going down the road.
It goes around corners really well. The ride's not too harsh, because a lot of times you put these things in cars and they get to where they ride so hard that they're not comfortable on the street.
We didn't do an official cone type slalom event with this car, but we did take it into a parking lot and kind of swerved it back and forth to get just a seat of the pants feel on the amount of body roll and the way the car gripped the road. And it is vastly, vastly improved from the stock suspension. So by the time this project got wrapped up, we had touched the bottom side of the car, the suspension, of course the engine, the fuel injection system, cooling system, the AC, did a lot of different steps on this car to make it what it is now. But we're fortunate here at V8 Speed Resto because we have the ability to do all kinds of stuff, from simple upgrades to complete restorations and anything in between. But we really like to make sure that everything performs the way it's supposed to, and this car definitely does. If you've got ideas for your own car that might need an upgrade, either on the appearance or performance side, you can reach us at v8speedshop.com/contact.